It's time for Success in Real Estate with Frankie Griffin, owner and broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, certified residential specialist, accredited buyer representative, military relocation professional, real estate appraiser, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or having your home appraised, you will enjoy Success in Real Estate. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser. And here's the question we got for you. Is your house ready to sell? And I'm going to tell you that's probably one of the biggest questions. If you're thinking about selling your home, you really need to think about that. Is your house ready to sell? Because I'm telling you, I can come out there and put a sign in the yard and a lock box and do the marketing. But if your house is not ready, then the house could be sitting there for quite a while. So we want to talk about what can we do to get the house ready to sell. And I guess I'm talking for the most part staging, doing some interior decorating. How do we do that? To what degree do we need to concentrate on stage? There's just so many things to think about when you're getting your house ready to put on the market. It's pretty easy as a homeowner. Once you decide I'm ready to sell, that's the easy part. The hard part is really thinking about actually getting your home ready, because that's such a big deal. And I see it every single day in real estate. So because of that, I've invited Jennifer Mitchell with Cannon and Douglas is actually in studio with us today. I'm so glad she came in. And but this is exactly what she does. She is a home stager, interior decorator, and she's also a licensed real estate agent or realtor. And Jennifer, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
It's a great day today, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful.
It's a fine day. Now, I'm told it's going to be raining this afternoon. Isn't that right, Brian? Is it? Yep. Brian said, yep. Brian's our meteorologist.
Oh, okay.
So he said it's going to be raining, so it's going to be raining. But, it's still going to be a beautiful day. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
Rain or not, it's Friday. And, you heard how the opening there, but, why? Some people just put a for sale sign in the yard, and can't understand why it's not selling. Mm-hmm. The house is not ready, right? So when we talk about staging, what does that mean? What is staging? Is it just moving furniture around, or is it preparing for what the buyer is going to see, or what you want the buyer to see when they walk in, I guess?
Staging and redesign, it's a wide range of things.
Yeah.
It really is. It provides the buyer with an emotional attachment. Mm. It reaches them on a psychological level.
Yep.
It really does. You only have 3 to 5 seconds to make an impression on someone.
And that's a good point, because that impression is hard to get rid of.
Sure.
Whatever that impression is, that's what the buyer's going to remember. It's kind of like a gut feeling the buyer gets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's going to stick with them through the house, or as they're walking through the house. Mm-hmm. Should I, and here's one of the things that I've always, now let me just say this up front. I'm one of those that can walk into a house, and quite frankly, I could care less. If there's furniture in it, mm-hmm. no furniture, junk, trash, holes in the wall, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
And it might be from the investor in me, I guess. Quite frankly, I want to see junky houses, because I'm going to tell you, if it looks junky, then the buyer's going to perceive it as a junky house, needs a lot of work.
It's going to be a bigger investment.
Yeah.
Than closing price.
And so for me as a buyer, that's what I prefer to see. But that's not the case apparently for most buyers. No. They can't walk into a room and envision how this room could best be used.
That's right.
I guess. So I guess you take furniture either that's already there, or if you need to, I guess you could bring furniture in.
Right.
And make it a usable area, I guess.
Absolutely. If it's vacant, then we do more of the staging. We can rent furniture from a company that we use and highlight its prime attributes to make it look its best. If it is still occupied, then we do a redesign, and we'll help you out and say, you have some really great pieces. I would say that we don't need these, or we do need these. These need to go here, and help to utilize what they already have in their home and say, go ahead and pack this up.
And just get it out of there.
And go ahead and get it out of here. And then we're going to use what you have, and we are going to make this highlight.
And I've told sellers that so many times. Seller, you're going to be moving, right? You're selling your house, so let's go ahead and get started.
Right.
This needs to go first.
Sure.
That second.
Yeah. Because you once you redesign, or once you stage, like you said, not everybody's a visionary. Not everybody can walk into a space and say, my stuff is going to look great in here, just like this. Mm-hmm. They need something, and almost a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a outline, pretty much.
Okay,
essentially.
Yeah, that works. I would think, and it kind of hit me when we were talking right before the show started. Brian mentioned he needs an interior decorator.
Right.
Brian needs probably more than an interior decorator. But, and I get where I was going with this. Brian's right now bachelor. He's got so many trying to get him, but he keeps running away from them. But he needs help. He's like he's a guy, lives by himself, and but a lot of us are like, us. I'm married, but a lot of people are single, live by themselves, and guys just tend to not really care or notice or pay attention. Curtains might be a sheet that we've tacked to the wall over the window, and it looks fine, right?
No.
It doesn't look good. Well, it certainly doesn't look good if you're going to sell the house.
Right.
But us guys, we're pretty simple-minded, and to me, it's not a big deal. But I guess for buyers, it would be a big deal, is what I'm hearing you say anyway.
Yes, it is, absolutely. That's the difference between an interior decorator and someone that knows staging and redesign, which we do both. We have different levels, and on our website that is progressing and growing, so there'll be more information on that later. However, interior decorators focus on your likes, your specific niche, your trends that you like specifically, and that's already how your home is decorated.
Yeah.
But that's not what everyone else, buyers, they might not like that. Your walls might be bright red, but then they don't like red. So you have to have someone come in and say, it's not that your taste isn't wonderful, it suits you just fine. However, buyers on the market, they need things toned down so that they can be able to relate better. Color has a lot to do with it, and a lot of people don't think about that as well.
Well, let me ask, because I actually had an agent called me yesterday that we're going to talk about, because we got to take a break. But we got to go ahead and take our first break. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, number to call, 799-8255. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser. Beautiful Friday. We're headed for the weekend. And what better way to go into the weekend than to have some time just sitting here with Jennifer Mitchell talking about preparing, staging, decorating your home. For a lot, and we were talking about this in the first segment, it's just really not a big deal for somebody like me. It really isn't. But even statistics show that staging and preparing the home for sale is a huge return on investment.
Absolutely.
I've seen it over and over and over, because most people absolutely need to see how this room can be used. They want to see it. They can't just have a picture in their mind.
Right. Visionaries.
They want to see it. So anyway, we're talking about preparing the home for sale, staging, interior decorating, and and I'll ask this question a bit later because right now we do have a caller on the line. So let's go straight to our phone lines. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. The number 799-8255. Again, 799-8255. But right now on the phone line we got Pam. How you doing this morning, Pam?
I'm doing great. How are you, Frankie?
Oh, this is such a fine day today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have a question for your stager.
Yeah.
So as a realtor, if I want to introduce my client to this idea, I'm just curious, what's the process? How does she get started? What's involved in getting her inside my client's home and giving them the ideas that they need for improving the house?
Well, hi, Pam.
That's a pretty interesting, because let me make sure I understand exactly what you're saying. You're, if I'm an agent or you're an agent, can we call Jennifer and have her come over and stage the house? Is that what you're?
Absolutely, or at least consult with the clients. What's involved in getting that ball rolling?
A simple phone call or an email. I will come out and I'll do a consultation with the client, and it's roughly around an hour to 2 hours, and I'll walk through. I'll take photos and prepare the home assessment, which can be purchased later. However, I'll give them basic tips. I'll give them a lot of ideas,
yeah.
right? Ideas, the basics, really, just giving them a general idea as to what it is that I do, why it's important, and let them know just this is what I've done before, and this is how fast it sells.
And I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
it's fine.
do you have like a book of how do you take pictures
do.
and you can show? I forget, what do you call it?
It's a comprehensive home assessment. I can do it via PDF or hands-on. It's with pictures, and everything is to very specific detail.
And Pam, because Jennifer's also a real estate agent as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right, and I'm sure she would protect people's clients.
Absolutely. And I think that's a good question because, a lot of times agents that have a specialty such as yours might not want to share that to help other agents. Like if I'm listing the house, would you be willing to come over and help me stage
Right. Yes.
the house I'm listing?
Yes, absolutely.
And see, I love that because I can't do it. I can tell you right now, I can't do it. If you tell me it looks good, I believe you.
Right.
And
I enjoy being an agent. However, after a lot of prayer and time like that, I found that my giftedness from the Lord was just making them pretty.
Absolutely. Well, Pam, I appreciate you calling in with that.
Okay, thank you.
I hope you have a great day. I think that was a really good question because you have, a lot of people are not willing to provide those services to other agents,
right.
clients.
Absolutely.
It's either just strictly in-house or whatnot, but you're willing to help me if I need
Sure,
or
of
any
course.
other agent.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, see, and that comes in very handy because I know staging is important because most people need to be able to see what the house is going to look like. But so let me ask you this: how long does it take a lot of time on average? Do you need a day to prepare my house, or a week, or?
It really just depends on, one, the square footage of the home, how much work needs to be done. I actually just helped an agent in our office, and they're listing $1 million house on Lake Murray.
Wow.
And it was extravagant, absolutely beautiful, very tasteful, but very specific to their taste, and to depersonalize and get it to more of a neutral base where it's going to appeal to a very broad spectrum of buyers. There was a good bit of work to be done. So, sometimes it takes a month. They wanted to do it on their own. So, a lot of the times whenever you put it in our hands, it'll go a little bit faster.
So we need to get you in
First.
early.
Yes, very much so.
Early in the process.
Always.
And if nothing else, just have you come out and you'll maybe I guess you call it consultation.
Yes.
You could just tell us what to do and we do it, or would you want to do it all yourself, or how does that work?
Essentially what we do is we will come in, we'll do a consultation. Like I said, we give you the basics. We say this is what you really should focus on.
Mm-hmm.
We give you a very broad range. Like, these are the biggest key things for you to do. If you want to take the next step, then we will go home. We're going to prepare in the office with all of the photos that we took at the consultation, your home assessment. Now, that typically takes about 5 to 6 hours to put together on our end. And then we can meet back up and we'll go over all those things. And then you have another option. Do you want to take it on yourself?
Yeah.
I'm a do-it-yourself kind of person. So I would say, yes, absolutely. I think I can handle it. You've given me so many details.
Well,
I
yeah,
could do
because you
it.
know what you're doing anyway. It's
Well,
me.
but I like, all things DIY at our household. My husband and I, we love building and refurbishing things.
And see,
so that's
now,
fun for
well,
us.
that's different than staging.
It is.
Because I got to tell you can tell me what to do to stage it, and you are completely wasting your breath.
Right, which is why it's also good. Once you get those, it's good to know what we are going to do, because it always gives you like a really detailed layout of every specific thing. And you can choose what you want to do, what you don't want to do, that type of thing. Go
Well,
from there.
here's a question. In fact, this is something I was going to ask you before we hit the break. But, I had an agent call me yesterday, and it was really about evaluate, because I do appraisals too. But to me, and I told her, well, let me just say, her question was this: there's a house in a particular neighborhood that she's getting ready to list, built in, I think she said like 1990, but it had the early 90s wallpaper.
Yeah.
I mean, in every room in the house, every single room. But she said it was well maintained. It wasn't like peeling or anything like that. The house was well maintained. But all the houses around her had been updated. No longer had the wallpaper and stuff like that. And the question for me was, how will that affect the value of that by having the wallpaper? And without getting into a lot of detail, my response was, I don't know that it's as much a value question as it is a marketability question.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. It's very much so. When someone walks in and they see a whole bunch of wallpaper, they think, well, that's a lot more work I'm going to have to do once we buy it. And sometimes the chosen wallpaper may just turn them off immediately.
And
say, I'm not even interested.
Yeah.
It's too much work, or I don't like it, or hands down, just walk away.
Okay. Well, we got some time. We still got a few minutes. All right, let's go. We got a caller on the line, so let's go talk to Bill. How you doing this morning, Bill?
Good, Frankie. Thank you for having this show for the local realtors. It's very insightful.
Sure.
And helpful.
Love it.
My wife and I are realtors. In fact, we graduated from your school years ago.
Awesome.
And we've used Jennifer twice. And I just want to, do a little commercial for her.
Okay. Well, we just happen to be on the radios. This is a good time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say she did a great job. I am not good at decorating. I don't pick out paint colors anymore because we have to paint twice if I pick the color out. I'm like you and your bachelor buddy. But, some people really have a gift at that, and I just want to say Jennifer does. She staged one home for us that was in the $125,000, $130,000 range, and a second home that was on Lake Murray. I think it listed for $230,000. In both cases where she pre-staged the house, the first person who looked at the house offered full price.
Wow.
Because they didn't want to get in a bidding war with anyone else over the house once they saw it. Her staging gave them the ability to not imagine what the house could look like, but see what the house looked like, and it made a strong impression. So I just want to say we have used Jennifer twice. It was a small investment to move that house.
Well, Bill, you know what?
Talented.
That's very interesting. You call in and say that, and since you have firsthand experience working with Jennifer and Stager at all. I guess my question is, did she come in and just sort of move some existing things around? Did she just move a lot of stuff out? Did we move some new stuff in your particular case?
It was more like somebody waved a magic wand over the house. I'm telling you, she's incredible. I couldn't believe how she transformed that house into something so attractive. She really has a gift for what she does. She's excellent at it. Give her a try and see what happens would be, my recommendation. We've had great success with her.
That's awesome.
And I'm not
Thank
blowing
you.
smoke in people's face. It's important that when somebody's trying to sell or buy a home, that's the most important decision, most people make financially, unless they are a business owner.
Sure.
And this service is helping them accomplish their goals.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
Okay. Thank you.
You have a great day. Boy, that was a huge compliment.
Absolutely.
What, do you remember Bill?
I do. That was a fantastic client of ours, too.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
and
beautiful
he said
place.
that you've done it twice.
Yes.
Two of his properties. And I'm going to tell you, I guess you've done a good job when you get the second call.
Right.
A lot of times it's easy to get that first call.
Right, sure.
It's getting the second call.
Yeah, and we love working with these clients, too, because a lot of people don't know about staging.
Yeah.
They just have no idea. They say, let's move.
Yeah.
And they forget that you're not just leaving the house behind. You're presenting a present
Exactly right.
for
Well-
the next person to come along. You want to buy a bland,
Yeah.
empty present for someone else.
Well, I know we're coming up on our bottom of the hour break. And on the other side, we might talk about maybe some statistics that you might be aware of. in
Absolutely.
Staged homes versus something not staged. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, number 799-8255. Be right back with Success in Real Estate. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser, in studio with our staging machine, Jennifer Mitchell. Just got a really nice call about you and your services, and that's the best advertising you can get. Having clients call in and brag and talk about how good you are and stuff like that.
It is.
But right now, we want to talk to our mortgage go-to gal. Miss Erica Hill West is on the line. How you doing this morning, Miss Erica?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Frankie?
It's Friday. It's
I
a fine
know.
day.
That's
It's
right.
a fine day today. And I am so glad you called in, because I'm going to hit you off with a big question right off the bat.
Go for it.
This is something that I think we've probably talked about this before. And I got kind of irritated with another lender this past week. And I'm wondering how common what I'm about to say, how common it is. But, I'm working with a brand new buyer, and they said they knew a certain lender that they wanted to use, which obviously that's their choice. And the reason they wanted to use this lender is because the lender told them that the lender would pay all their closing costs, so they wouldn't have to. And me, I need to talk to them, because I got to know what the provisions of the loan will be, stuff like that, so I know how to write up an offer. And come to find out, they were not paying the buyer's closing costs. They were just tacking it onto the loan. Is that common?
Yes. I mean, that's a common
So really,
way
the
that
lender's
lenders
not
are actually
paying.
for. No.
They're actually creating a lot more cost to the buyer, because now you're paying not only are you still paying the closing costs, now you're paying interest on top of it.
That's right.
And it just kind of irritated me that this lender would tell my client that we're paying the closing costs, and that's not what they're doing. That's just so aggravating to me.
What they should say is that I'm able to finance your closing costs.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, that doesn't sound good. Not to a reasonable buyer. Because, look, would you rather pay $3,000, $4,000 in closing costs at the table, or over 30 years turn it into $15,000 or $20,000, or whatever? I'm making up a number, but.
And here's where it gets really bad: is that average time somebody spends in a house is how long, Frankie?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Yep.
And you know that the front end of your loan is interest heavy.
Yep.
Right? So not
Yep.
a whole lot's going to principal. And if you're adding 3 or 4 or $5,000 or $6,000 on, you're paying a majority of that cost up front before you even get out.
Yeah.
So it also is reducing your equity that you're building over time as well.
Yeah. And, and I guess I was even bringing one, it just irritated me because it's just lying. And for that loan officer to say that, if they don't realize now, and my client even said, trying to defend I don't know how close they are. Maybe they're friends. I don't know. And I told him, I said, look, you're free to use anybody you want to. I want you to make an informed decision. As long as you know they're not paying these closing costs. He just said that.
Mm-mm.
He is not paying it. Even though he said that, that's not what's happening. And I got to tell you, to me, you try to mislead me, you have broken our chain of trust here. Because now I don't know what else I can believe or what I can't believe. Anyway,
Right.
I just wanted to vent a little bit, and you were on the line, so you're the one that caught it. Sorry about that, Erica.
Oh, it's kind of the similar thing that happens, and I get really frustrated. Usually in new construction, the same verbiage is used to consumers also.
Yes, you
If you
use
use
our
the builder's
lender, we'll
preferred
pay your
lender.
closing costs. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's usually not what is happening.
Yeah. I just
They're
bring
giving you
that.
a lender credit, but they're financing it in. They're pushing it on the back of the loan.
Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to bring that up. Just for those that are listening, if you're buying a house, I'm going to tell you, probably the most critical component of the entire transaction is going to be your lender. And it's got to be somebody that whatever they tell you, you can take it to the bank.
Yes.
You know it's right. They're not misleading in any way. Because that's a big, this is the largest investment most people will ever make. And the person that I'm going to be investing all this money with, I want them to be forthright, up front, don't mislead me. Because this is a lot of money I'm fixing to throw out there. So,
Right.
anyway, with all that, now, what you got to say about that, Erica?
Well,
I'm sorry, I ran into too much.
No. I actually, it excites me to hear that other people get frustrated with the. I consider it deceiving verbiage and vernacular that they use to consumers.
Vernacular.
Because
that's what
I usually come back and say, I can do the same thing, but I'm not paying for it. I'm just, instead of you having to come out of pocket in cash, you're just pretty much financing it. Right? Because how they do that is they adjust your interest rate. So you're most likely getting a higher interest rate as well. And so there's a lot of things. It's not just, we're paying interest on it. We're paying more to borrow money just to get this extra little bit. And so I try to be very clear and concise with my clients and tell them, anybody can do this, but we really need to look at the amortization and make sure that it is actually saving you money.
And, and the best way to handle this from the get-go, and then I told her this. I said, why don't we just not even worry about closing costs? Why don't we let the seller pay the closing costs?
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think that's pretty typical in this market, where buyers are going to ask the seller to pay for their closing costs, and then we don't have to worry about it at all as the buyer.
Right, or call me and we can look at what program state housing has to get you some more money.
Yeah, like what? I know there's a couple big ones out there. What? Tell me about them.
Depending on your income and your classification, if you're first-time home buyer, you can qualify for $6,000 towards down payment and closing costs. There's the hardest hit that gives you $15,000.
That's insane.
Towards down payment and closing costs. They have a 3% down conventional home advantage loan where they give you your 3%. So you could either use whatever money you had saved up for your closing costs, or you and the seller can carry that burden. There are so many other ways than to finance it in on the back end of the loan and get a higher rate.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, Erica, and hopefully you'll know the answer. But with either one of those two programs you just talked about, in fact, the client I'm working with right now, she's a first-time home buyer, but her husband has previously, doesn't own a home now, but has owned a home prior. But she's the one going to be buying this house. Would she qualify for either one of these loans? The talking about
Yeah,
the
as long as
state
their
housing?
income. I mean, the great news is that the Home Advantage only looks at whomever's on the loan,
Okay.
and you don't have to be a first-time home buyer.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah.
Now, it does have to be a pre-existing home. Can't be a new home. Or
Correct.
Okay. Well, that might, because she's actually looking at a brand new home. So,
Which we can look at. There are others that you can't. I mean, I think the hardest hit, the 15,000 is the one that can't be a new home. I think all the other ones, they don't have that caveat on it.
Yep.
So she could win it. And as long as her spouse, depending on when did he own a home, because the clock starts over every 3 years.
Yeah.
If you haven't had ownership interest in a property in 3 years, you again are a first-time home buyer.
Well, they're very young, so it'd have to be. So if he's ever owned a home, it had to be in the last 3 years. There ain't no way, because he's very young. But
yeah, there is that. Just talking, I think she may qualify for the Home Advantage.
Well, there's going to be others that want to talk to you about this, and we got probably less than a minute before we got to go to a break. So how can we get in touch with you, Miss Erica?
You can reach me on my cell phone, which is 803-528-5019. You can email me at erica@lendingpathmortgage.com or find me on Facebook. It's Erica Hill West Mortgage Group.
That's why you're the best. Thank you so much, Miss Erica.
Have a great weekend.
You do the same. And again, we got to take our bottom of the hour break. Got one more segment. We still have Jennifer Mitchell in studio. Give us a call, 799-8255. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to our last segment of Success in Real Estate. Again, I'm Frankie Griffin, real estate broker and appraiser, in studio with Jennifer Mitchell. Now, Jennifer, she's a real estate agent, and she does very good at real estate, obviously. Because, you actually came through our real estate school for success a few years back.
I did.
Yeah, so you obviously have to be awesome.
Clearly.
But you also do staging and interior decorating.
Yes.
Helping those of us like me that cannot see or understand. Staging is just not something for me. And probably for a lot of guys, quite frankly. Does that seem?
Yes.
Most guys don't care. It's usually the ladies, or am I just
A
off?
lot of the times, if you look at a gentleman's listing versus a lady's, they're a bit more decorated.
I could,
on the ladies.
Yeah, I know. I get it. So I know the next listing I take, I know who I'm going to be calling.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, you need to come take a look at this.
Well, I think that most agents should absolutely call a stager. It's pertinent in today's market. Mm-hmm. It really is, because you can really think of it as, can you afford not to stage at this point? Do you want to pay however many months it's on the market, 4-5 months of extra mortgage?
Yeah.
Or invest in this and have they sell so much faster.
Now, you have, I know there's statistics out there for this. I don't know what they are. I'm not even sure if you might know what they are on the spot right here. But, is there a number you can throw out for a house, a sales price for a house that's not staged versus that same house that is staged? Is there a difference in sales price, or do you see much difference?
Absolutely. There is a survey that was put out this year, and I can back that up because I've seen these just fly off the market now. But 85% of professionally staged homes sell for, or have sold for 6 to 25% more.
Really?
Yeah.
And I assume a lot faster even?
Most definitely. An unstaged home, days on the market, roughly is about 181. Now, then they decide to stage, and then you're looking at about 41 more days, roughly around there on average.
See, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And a home that's staged prior to being listed, no joke, the average is about 23 days. So really, essentially, if you do your staging and redesign first, you have a 90% less time on the market.
Well, how about if the house is vacant?
Sure.
And you have a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Is it better just to make sure it's just clean?
Oh, that's a must.
Yeah, but yeah. But should we constantly just make sure it's real clean, or should we actually not only clean it, but do we stage the whole house, or do we stage part of it? When I say stage, obviously you have to bring in furniture or something if it's vacant.
We have different packages, different levels, because there are different levels of investment. Not everybody wants to go full-blown house. What I would suggest is if it is vacant, stick with light staging. And we have a light staging package that it just highlights the prime attributes of the things that are going to stick out to the buyers most predominantly. If it has a really great bay window, don't let that slide by. If the master bathroom is exquisite, don't let that slip by.
Well, and that's a big, and you're right, because I'm going to tell you, and I'm not a photographer either, but I would think a professional photographer is going to zero in on those to accentuate, what you've already accentuated. They want to make sure that's captured in the photo because that's what buyers are looking for online.
And that's another really key point that I'm glad that you mentioned, because if you have your home on the market already and it's been on there for, let's say, 3 months, and you've already had your MLS photos taken, and then you decide to stage.
Yeah.
And then guess what? You're going to want to have to invest again.
Yep, got to bring another photographer out there.
Yeah, however, people will actually skip by, like we were talking about, those non-visionary people. They'll just skip over vacant houses. If it looks beautiful, it's gonna jump up to their top 3.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, look at this house I saw today, and they're gonna want to show it to everyone.
Absolutely.
What do you think about this? And then you're setting that tone not only in the buyer that's looking, but then they're gonna convince themselves that they love it over and over through those photos.
And to me, it would have to be worth whatever it costs to get it staged, get it right. Because,
Absolutely.
And you've already mentioned this, but I just want to reiterate, every month that stays on the market, seller's costing you money. If your payment's $1,000 or $1,500 a month, 3 months, you're talking, $4,500, $5,000.
That's right. And it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's not going to show any better than it did
Absolutely.
when it first listed.
Absolutely. So it's an excellent point. And now, did you say you have a website?
I do. It's eastmarketinteriors.com.
eastmarketinteriors.com.
You can find us on Facebook as well at East Market Interiors.
Okay. And now when I go on the website, is there like a place, is it just like pictures? What am I going to find on your website?
I do have a gallery up there. Like I said, I'm still working on getting the redesign and the interior decorating part uploaded. But up at the top is very easy to navigate. Very, very easy. You can contact us in many ways, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. But if you just go to the staging, you do a drop down, and then it'll give you examples. Why? Why staging?
Yeah.
That's a big question for people. Read that. It is very informative. We put a lot of time into that because we want to best explain what it is that your investment is providing for these people.
Sure.
It's not only for yourself. It's benefiting yourself as a seller to sell the house fast. As a buyer, it's beneficial because you get to see it. As an agent, that's great because your listings are flying off the market, and then we get to help the community, and I really love that. When you have happy clients all the way around, you just can't ask for anything better.
Absolutely.
I like being able to provide that.
Here's something I have found to be a little bit interesting. When I walk into a house, here's how I can tell. Was it a male that decorated and staged their home, or was there a female? Guys we put all our furnitures all the way up against the wall. All the way up against the wall. All the way around. There's something all the way up against the wall.
Right.
Ladies, nope, we want our furniture in the middle of the room.
Feng shui.
Now, why is that a big deal?
It's the flow. It's the flow. It's hard to explain.
But to me, the flow is if I can push all the furniture kind of out of the way, up against the wall, then there's all kind of space out here.
Actually, believe it or not, if you pull it away from the wall, your space will look larger.
But what you going to do with the space behind the couch, between the couch and the wall?
Well, do you like it when you're sitting on the couch watching a football game and people are walking by you?
Well, that's true.
No,
That's true.
you
I
don't.
will not tolerate somebody walking in front of me while I'm watching TV.
But see, it gives you a different habit.
Yeah, Brian said defense.
Right, exactly.
You know, it is kind but have you noticed that too?
Mm-hmm.
You'll, because to me, now I'm going to tell you, if you put the couch like up away from the wall or whatever, then it looks fine. It looks perfect to me. But if I did it myself, it looks stupid in my mind. And I don't understand that.
Because you
Why?
don't feel confident.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know,
not.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. I think ladies tend to be up on the trends a little bit more.
But
So,
but see,
checking out everyone else's. Everybody, HGTV. Let's blow that out of the water. Everybody loves it. And that's what people are
Yeah.
looking for when they go to look for a home. They want something that looks beautiful, that looks trendy. And,
You're fine.
it needs to look trendy and up to date. And women typically are a little bit more involved in those types.
Well, see, to me, I might need the furniture to hide blemishes on the wall. That otherwise I got to go paint it. Now my wall's got to look good.
Well, that is important. It is.
It is. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. But to me, it's a lot less work. And maybe that's why, guys. That's why we think the way we do. Yeah, we need some work on the wall, or I can put the furniture up against the wall, and you'll never know.
I can put it into a really, really basic thing to understand. If you were to go and buy someone a birthday gift, are you going to buy them a gift that you like or a gift that they like?
Honestly,
Well,
if it's Brian, he's going to buy what he likes, and then hope they don't like it and want to give it back.
give
or
it back.
something like-
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
typically,
I
most
know, yeah.
would want to buy something that the other person would like. So that's where you really need to focus on the general side
That's
of
an
things.
excellent point, because seller, it's no longer. I mean, yes, it's your house, but you've got to prepare it as if somebody else is going to want it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and
And I
that's
get
essentially
that.
what you're doing is you're passing this gift on
Yeah,
that you've just spent
That's a-
years and lots of memories
that's
in
a good point.
to someone else. So invest in those people because you're providing a new opportunity for the home.
That's an excellent point. And, we've got probably under a minute to go, but, and I know you've provided some of this information already, but is your phone number, website again?
Yes,
How can we get in touch with you?
You can contact me on my cell phone. My number is 803-727-4086, and you can also find us online at eastmarketinteriors.com.
There you go. And if you're riding down the road and you couldn't write down her information, if you can remember FrankieGriffin.com, go to my website. You'll see all my contact information is there. You can shoot me an email or text me, call me. I know how to get in touch with Jennifer.
There you go.
And I'll certainly hook you up if that's something we can do to help. That's what we want to do.
Thank you for having me. I
Hope you have a
appreciate it.
wonderful weekend. And for you listening, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe. We'll be right back next Friday with Success in Real Estate.